Welcome back, everyone, to the Casual Esports Amateur League Semifinals action. This one is Shuriman match between uh, Team Billy versus Fiesta Fathers, and I actually have someone here who has provided the replay for us to break it down as we go along.
Yeah, should be a fun time.
So we got ZZ Dog here. Hopefully everyone can hear him fine. I'm going to turn him up just a little bit on my end. Should be good. So, do you want to break down how the draft went for Game 1 here?
Sure can. So, as far as I don't know what their rationale for bans were, but they seemed pretty sus to us. Like they banned out Victor, Ryze, Senna as their first rotation ban, so they were putting a lot of focus on the mid lane, which is kind of odd considering I'm literally just a fill mid laner, but you do you. And then they first picked Jhin. So that's also pretty sus because that just leads us to picking Ornn Zac on our first rotation and just jumping him, really. You're picking in a mobile AD carry, first pick, and you don't really have anything to protect that. Yeah, we can just build a comp specifically for just piling on the mobile ADC because of that.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much the thought process.
Okay, well, I mean, I definitely see that now. Your team during the regular season definitely tried some of the more unique strategies that we saw from teams, correct? The double jungle, lane swaps, those type of things. So,
yeah, we live up to the name. We like to party. So, we'll do weird stuff if we think that that's what's best. So when the reason we did double jungle was mostly just because jungle XP was just so gutted that we figured double funnel might actually be better. And it was successful enough when we practiced it. And I think we went 3-3 in the league when we played it, so it was 50% win rate. It wasn't bad.
No, yeah. So we are going to, because there's no other better way than to just jump straight into the match here. And so mine's on 13 seconds by the time I can pause it. So
all right, just I am at 8. So
yeah.
I'm now at 13.
Okay. Well, 3, 2, 1, go. And we should be going off here. 19, yep. 20, 21. It's probably quick with the fingers. So, now, does your division do a whole lot of invades?
Not really, but there is an invade this game. And it's a pretty interesting one because we had a pretty decent read on what we thought they were going to do level 1. So you can see that we're going for this, wraparound here because their bot lane usually sits 2 people by themselves in River Bush, so we were going to wrap around to get them. But then, as you can see, they all just 5-stacked in bot, so it led to this really weird ring around the rosy thing around the blue buff.
Yeah, they burnt the flash out of your support Zillion.
Yeah, but now they're kind of stuck is the problem. And another problem was Elise started E, and she also doesn't get a leash because she died, so her clear is just so bad this game.
Now, Joe Killer was able to pop the Zac bloblets, but that isn't going to affect Zac,
Yeah, and you also see Veigar goes to lane with 10 stacks on passive already, which is pretty disgusting for a minute into the game.
That is true. Real quick, fix my volume here since I got someone else talking with me. Now, Elise did get a leash, but no flash. Yeah. E makes it hard. Shen also started taunt and walked back up to lane versus Cheese Blaze on your side. Go ahead running the teleport to get back there.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a little awkward that Ornn wound up getting first blood. But I mean, it's kind of nice. He gets to get control ward on his first back, so that's super good for him. He can have vision actually be protected from the Elise. I think he winds up actually not using it though and still dying somehow, but it's the thought.
Well, the early trades here, he definitely should have kind of just placed it when he
Yeah, I know. He's just sitting on it.
Well, it's level 2, so we will not see.
Yeah.
We should probably run down the lineups here. So I'll do, Team Billy here. Was Team Billy the 2 seed and you guys the 3 seed?
No, we are the 4 seed. Billy was 1 seed.
Okay, so the number 1 seed, we had the Illuminati up top for Team Billy. I am Stro in the jungle. I Glitchy mid lane, Joe Killera, AD carry, and Aoka as the support.
Yeah, and then 4th seed, Fiesta Fathers. We had Cheeseblaze top lane, Strom in jungle, myself, Dog mid, Frostbites, ADC, and then we had Nikomite filling on support because our support's car broke down.
As the double ganks came off here with the Ornn trying to fight his way through the Shen, and
He plays it pretty well. He does the best he can, but like, yeah. It's about half health off both of them, but
yeah.
not doing anything else.
Zach did a nice gank in mid lane for you while that was all happening to, push the Syndra back even further, getting just the full lane control this early on the game, and Viger getting to stack almost freely, not having to worry about Syndra's mana and trying to poke you out must be pretty nice.
Yeah, it was a pretty fun early game for me. I just kind of chilled CS. It was fun. You know, it's what you want as Veigar, just nothing happening.
So as a team comp we built in here, were you worried at all that like everyone in the game is magic damage except for the Jhin?
No, we actually really liked that everyone except for Jhin was magic damage because we have Ornn Zac. Like, Ornn just rushes Abyssal, Zac rushes Spirit Visage, and then, like, Jhin doesn't really do a good job of killing tanks in the first place. So, you just have 2 beefy frontliners, and you'll, like, the Ornn at one point in this game, I think phase tanks 4 people in a team fight, and then just doesn't care. Like, it's just absolutely disgusting. I think that, like, Team Billy had a lot of draft issues, actually, in this series.
And once again, as we see, I am Stro trying to finish off your support and then get onto Frostbite here. Kog'Maw's not normally a champion that Frostbite is known for. He is known for his Jhin.
I think,
more of a
personally, that Frost should be known for Kog'Maw, because he plays it a lot. Like, it also gets banned a fair amount in Seal, so he doesn't get to play as much in Seal as he would like to, but no, he definitely plays a lot of Kog'Maw. If people leave it up, they'll see that he plays it probably just as much as Jhin, to be honest.
And that's the difference, right? Between the AD carry position here, you have Kog'Maw, who's pretty good at shredding through tanks, versus Jhin, who's not necessarily good. The Syndra, who's a lot better at bursting, but not as good as the Veigar with the ultimate burst there. Better later engage with the Zac and Ornn compared to the early control that you can have with the Elise Shen, right? That's
yeah. I mean, that's effectively what it is. It's like they have a much more early game centered composition, and like you can see that already. Even though we had that level 1, they're already abusing the early game advantage and they're pulling it back.
Yeah.
So, you know, like the entire game, our mantra was we're scaling, and you know, that was for better or worse at certain points. But you know, there was a time in this game where it was going really south, and I'm just like, it's okay, guys, we outscale. And then like 3 people died, and I'm just like quieter, like, it's okay, we outscale. It's like one of those solo queue games where you get first blood, but then your team is just completely like dying all around you, and you're just like, don't FF, we outscale.
Well, that was a good secure by Strom on the dragon here, as we see Elise trying to go in and lay down the damage, and kills are being traded off back and forth with Shen picking up with the ultimate, coming in to secure that, but no Shen, no teleport. It's going to have to walk back to top lane, or it's going to be able to get some tower plates up there. Zac escapes, no passive got popped. So dragon secure for your team here, but the kills go over in favor of Team Billy, and the early game aspects of their team comp are really starting to kind of show here, like you kind of said.
Yeah. The Elise is like a giant problem this game. She gets so fat. It's like Stro played out of his mind this game. To be honest, the only thing I think he could have really done better is like share the gold around because he winds up just being this massive carry. It's really hard to deal with.
Well, we will break down and see kind of how that all happens as the tower plates have been kind of being traded off to individual teams, getting pushed in kind of right and left. Now we do kind of notice. We'll see in this. We don't. Not seeing as this the third match casted today. Kind of giving a different breakdown than our previous ones, and probably we'll do the same with the other ones tonight. But notice some of the other divisions definitely had teams that were, especially if they had like the Elise and the early combos, were focusing on getting like Rift Herald. We had one team that got Rift Herald on spawn both times in a game, which was pretty crazy. It's just an opportunity, I guess. Is that something that you guys were prepared for or not prepared for?
I mean, as far as Rift Herald is concerned, we weren't really worried about it. Like, with Rift Herald, it's like, if you get it early, you can get like 2 plates for free, so it's like about a kill's worth of gold. But when we don't have the early game advantage due to our composition, we're pretty fine just giving it. Like, it's roughly a kill's worth of gold. We can give that and be fine, as long as we're still farming at the same time. Like, it's more detrimental to us to go fight for it, lose a fight, and then also give up Herald.
Like you just
that's
did?
most likely what would happen. Yeah, pretty much. And, like, that wasn't even really a fight so much as our jungler saw the Elise coming and decided to still go for Scuttle.
Yeah.
Which was a bit sus on his part, but that's okay. We're scaling.
Was able to get the Scuttle as we see the Elise is going to take, because directed Camelike's going down to the bot lane while Scuttle with a giant crab of the monsters up top being taken. It's just how different teams prioritize the different objectives is interesting in regards to how they want to do this.
This is silly.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, yeah. They really could have killed me there, but they just didn't.
I don't think they realized what the position everyone was in when they got blast code over, so...
Orange solo kills Shen during all that too, so...
Yeah, kind of looking around. Now, is Nick Knight's watch a normal jungler, correct?
Nikamite is playing support right now, and I don't think he has played jungle once in his life.
I mean, not jungle, support.
Yeah, no, he's not our normal support. Our normal support is Justin, and then me and Strom also go support secondary. But we wound up just sending Nick on support because we realized Iglitchy is one of their weaker players, and Nick is a very passive mid lane. So we wanted someone mid who we thought could actually like abuse advantage a bit if we could get them one. And Nick just kind of one-trick Zillion anyway, so we're just like, well, just put him on Zillion support, and if they ban it, then we'll figure something else out. Okay. And they never banned it, so it was fine.
What did you think of the Elise staying top for so long? Obviously got the kill, was able to drop the Herald, but getting the tower play gold over to the Shen in the top lane versus trying to maybe accelerate the bottom half of the map. The dragon's coming up in 30 seconds.
Oh, this is also really bad by Zach here. Yeah, see, I told him I'm coming up and we can kill Elise, and he took that as, alright, go in immediately. So, went in a bit too early and then couldn't get anything done there, but that's alright. We scaling.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the communication that you need to have between all of the team members to better, communicate, right? It's part of the aspect that needs to be done. And Stro sticks around yet again to get another kill. Said he is accelerating his personal gold value fairly well.
Yeah, he really pops off this game.
And that's a caught Syndra.
Yeah.
And the bot lane just roamed quicker. your bot
Yep.
lane roomed up through mid quicker than their bot lane. But it's the same time, this is a very, I think, I have not seen casted any of Team Billy's games, but I've definitely casted some of your guys' team's games over the seasons, and I've definitely know that the accelerated tempo style definitely is something that you guys favor, even though that you have a scaling comp.
Yeah, we're still gonna fight you. Like,
Yeah.
don't get us wrong, we'll always lose the team fight, but we'll still take it. Like that. That's the team identity, man. Like, you can't betray it just because of something silly like the composition. Like, imagine actually playing to a comp.
Yeah, I mean, just saying that, like, you know, playing to a style's, a composition's particular strengths and weaknesses could have actually really hindered you, even though your team, right? Like,
Yeah, like, if we actually just went even through the mid game and made this so much easier for ourselves, imagine how, like, how much more difficult this would have been if we actually weren't, like, 5k behind in 14 minutes.
and it's something that the other team is accelerating, right? So, like, it's not like you guys are making all the mistakes. The other team is also capitalizing if you do have errors, or they are causing your team to... Your team's willingness to accelerate the action or the willingness to not fight is playing into their team comp, which allows, obviously, you have, like, first tower that go over to the enemy team. And that can... It's a double-edged sword, right?
I mean, kind of. Like, we're trading at the very least. Like, we're down about 6k, but I guess we have dragon advantage, which is nice. But, like, at the same time, if my options were be down 6k but have 2 dragons, or give up 2 dragons and be down 2k, I'd rather be down 2k. That's just me.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, as everyone has played a regular season here, going for the playoffs, it's everyone has at least seen, every team has been casted at least once, so everyone has at least been on stage, sort of say. And everyone can see the team comps that everyone ran with the statistics here. It's a nice double engage with the tanks, taking out the Syndra. They're probably going to take out the Shen here as well if he gets another slap. Yep, pulls through. And there's a smite. And jump. Dead.
Yeah, see, this is why you don't, like, not first pick Ornn. They had blue side, and they left Ornn up, and they didn't first pick it. And the champion is just so broken on this patch, you just can't do that.
Yeah,
I know.
I mean, Ornn in this particular patch is particularly strong, but at our everyone is at the same approximate overall skill level, like, if that makes sense, for each of the divisions as a team as a whole, but individuals may have different strengths and weaknesses. Not being professionals in an amateur league here, having your weaknesses be in certain areas versus your strengths in others means that you cannot, as a team, always play the game which is optimal for professional play or the highest level. You have to...
Well, yeah, that's fine, but like, if you can't play Ornn on this patch, you pretty much just have to ban Ornn, because this champion is just way too broken. At least in my opinion, it's just disgusting.
And we have seen Ornn most of today, maybe not always win, but always be somewhat successful, although in their goals of what they're doing, correct? But that also means that the team comp has to kind of match what you want to do with the Ornn, as this early game is now trading hardcore into Team Billy's favor, picking up more kills here in the bot lane, and while Ornn is winning the 1v1 tank matchup in top lane, I Am Stro is pretty controlling of the other lanes over the Zac, and while Syndra has died a few times, definitely helped take down 2 towers in return, right? Kog'Maw has died, and the Jhin is starting to pop off. He's up pretty much amount of CS at the
Well,
moment.
this is a bit unfortunate. We thought they had reset for Dragon. They had not reset for Dragon.
Well, you're the one walking around without vision, so
Yep. Nah, I'm aware.
is
Yeah, so
the
I
Dragon
just
Seed.
get taken out, and then we still try to contest for some reason, and then we lose even more. Yeah, Strode just got, like, all of the kills, though. Like, he got the kill on me, and then he got the kill on Zillion. So, it's like, it's all on Strode to carry. I guess Jhin is kind of fed, too, but... Yeah, it's definitely, if the Spider can't carry this game, then, you're just gonna fall off.
Well, don't spoil too much of the ending
Yeah,
here
I know.
on how it goes, but the aspect of it, other than what the mid lane CS is basically even, but it's hard in favor of Ornn and hard in favor of Jhin in that battle overall. The levels once again is favoring the Ornn in those same roads as Zach's just gonna drop it. That's gonna be dead tower.
Yep.
And now the tower acceleration goes in your team's favor, which is nice.
Yep. Managed to shrink that gold lead from 5K to 4K. We're on the come up.
So as we get into the mid game here, what things were your team? As you said, your team is trying to scale, right? But
Yeah.
you have two really hard engage tanks. What are you guys looking for to get you to that scaling part?
Well, okay, so basically our thought process was if we can just get, like, myself to the glacial augment items and, have those built, we can just start getting picks and stalling out the game that way. So that was the goal, was just wait for Veigar to finish Spooky Ghosts and hope to God that they don't catch us out. And they count us out a lot.
As you guys overextend, as your bot lane is slow pushing bot, right? So like,
Yeah.
I understand like the Kog'Maw is trying to get to the second item here, and your goal is to, you keep saying to scale, but playing is your guys really playing to your best style by picking such a scaling comp?
Definitely not. Like, so our options were either go pound for pound in the early game against Team Billy, because we know that's exactly how they like to play, or at least that's how their jungle plays. Like, their jungle plays Lee Sin, Rek'Sai, Elise as like his three best champions, and our thought process was we know all of those are going to fall off. If we just ban out Lee Sin, which falls off like the least hard, and then just play to scale, even if we get behind early, we're confident we win team fights if we're like relatively even. So that was the thought process. If we play something that scales reasonably well and go even, then we will always win. That's what we believe, at least.
So if you have that plan coming into draft, then why are you guys trying to, catch out of Shen? This is Shen over
successfully catch out of Shen. I'll have you know.
One
we
spooky
ghost him twice.
Okay, you ghost him twice. But look at how much time and effort. I mean, obviously the enemy team isn't collapsing as they have Cinder picking up blue buff. Dragon's not spawning for 2 minutes. Rift Herald is obviously not an option because it's down. It's this 20-minute part of the game where we have in team play where there seems to be not always some struggle, but some time properly identifying the most optimization on what to do here. We have a team fight breaking out with Nick Mike catching Ike Litchi with double bomb. As I am Stro bypassing the rest of the team, tries to dive into the back line. Joe Killer drops the Jhin ult and throws it out as Shen ulti comes out a little late, and the bomb's going to separate.
I don't know if you caught it there or not, but our Ornn actually trolled that team fight. While the Elise was flanking to kill Kog'Maw, Ornn was sitting in a bush right in front of her, and instead of stopping her from doing anything, he crafted an item.
And we've seen a lot of that today with not the Ornn crafting item, but the baby cage from Veigar coming out and people not respecting the range at which it can be dropped on, and in that case you caught Stro, so that was a good job by you.
picked up 1,000 gold, and just like that, it's a 3K gold lead now. We're scaling.
Yeah. Do you guys? I mean, this is obviously the semifinals and the playoffs. Did you guys prepare any differently for this matchup than?
Oh, okay. We actually went really hard with prep work for this matchup. Actually, there were a lot of like really minor things we picked up on that like helped us, especially early game. Like for example, it didn't work out exactly how we thought it would, but like the level 1, their bot lane has a really bad habit of sitting in river bush by themselves. So the plan there was just wrap around and attack the 2 bot laners because they weren't warding and they were by themselves. Obviously they had 5 people there, but like either way it still worked out. We still got a kill off it and a bunch of flashes. We also noticed that their top laner likes to sit under tower a lot level 1 and not actually, you know, go 5-point so we could invade early.
Okay, well, you got Ornn and Zach engaging here. Ornn's going to get stunned, so not going to happen. But Zach's going to bounce around, plus the Vigor Cage going to stun up 3 people as Strom's going to take out Eye Glitchy here. And now you got stuns and slows going all across the map because you got double frosts coming out outside. Zach's going to slap a couple people around Ornn in the backline, getting taunted by Shen. Jin is not getting off any damage to the moment. His flash out coming from at least, and it's going to get one snare and pop one down. Kog'Maw has been attacking for a little bit here, so we see another stun come out yet again, both by Vigor and the bombs coming out from Zillion. There's been another stretchy bomb, and Cheeseblade's taking out the Alistar Cow. Kjo Killer not happen, and finally you drop the ultimate down on the Jin as we have this final bomb here lands onto Shen as he's going to taunt away safely, and that is going to be a 4 for 0 team fight in the favor of Fiesta Fathers.
Yeah, I think we just have to comp this build better for it. Like, if we can just kill the Elise, considering she has 12 kills, like, she's got 11,000 gold by herself, like a fourth of her team's gold. If we can just blow her up, then effectively we're even in gold, or we're ahead in gold even. So that, like, and it's not like it's that hard to catch out an Elise, right? If you just catch her in the baby cage, hit her with Ornn, hit her with Zaki, like, we have so many engage tools, so as long as we can get on her, then the team fight should go our way.
So one aspect of your team comp, as different people look at it anyways, is you guys have definitely a 5v5 team like ball, right? The other team with the Elise, the Jin, the Syndra, and even the Shen, those are more pick champions, right? You want like Elise picking someone in the jungle. You can use the Syndra for a little bit further engage. Jin has a long range stun that can also follow up with the Elise. Elise gets in a little bit of trouble in the pick. You have the Shen to ult in to try and isolate targets. And your team in the last Dragon fight did an excellent job of just like not being separated and having your frontliners in the front. And the other team has an Alistar as a frontliner, right? Shen's not necessarily the best frontliner to start a team fight. He wants to ult in as the team fight is already happening.
Yeah, I think that one problem that Billy really had this game was the fact that, like, Shen could not match Ornn in a side lane because Shen wants to split push and ult into a team fight and use numbers advantage, but he just couldn't win on the side lane against Ornn because Ornn is just so busted. So you have him like, if he tries to split push, he either gets solo killed by Ornn or just gets pushed out of lane, and then just wind up with a 4v4 anyway. And we're advantaged in the 4v4 or 5v5.
Yes, we do have another fight here. Shen is going to get a taunt, but that's not going to get down to anyone as Syndra goes too far, gets hit by the baby cage. Zax jumped in from very far away. Jin trying to lay as much damage in behind, but has to reload. That's not going to happen as Vigor's going to take down yet another champion here. Alistar is going to try and be the only one to escape as Zach actually picks up a kill in that fight as well. And I think this is the isolated, this is that point where you decided to scale to. The enemy team did not get far enough ahead either in their gold aspect or vision control in this mid-game, this 20 to 30 minutes. It allowed your superior 5v5 team comp to dictate how the engages were going to go.
Yeah, it was really hard for them to like get picks because eventually we just all started roaming together because like once we had like 2 spooky ghosts, you have double twin shadows. We can just run around popping twin shadows, and either we're gonna get a pick if they're not all together because we have 2 twin shadows, or we're just gonna see where they are and follow them. Like there's never a situation where are gonna get caught out because we have so many ways to get vision. We have like Farsight on Jin, and then like double spooky ghosts also are effectively like 2 more Farsights. So it's really hard to get a pick like that.
And now you have upgrading items. Upgraded the death cap, and upgraded the Vork there. I can't remember the exact upgrades, but I know that those in particular are pretty, you know, gold efficient in their upgrades.
Yeah. The death cap one is really gross because intrinsically it gives 55 AP, and then the death cap passive increases that even higher. So it winds up giving you like about 80 ability power just off that, which is about 1,700 gold. Pistol Mask, I believe, is the most gold efficient at like 1,800. I don't know exactly where like Sunfire or planned.
Sunfire went up because they buffed Sunfire.
Sunfire Cape in and of itself is a stronger item, yeah. But I meant like the gold specifically from making it Forge Fire.
Yeah. Self-upgrading, Sunfire is second behind the normal.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The
You see how
Infernal
much
Mask.
damage Orange just did?
Yeah. I mean, they finally killed him, but Kog'Maw
Yeah.
is shredding tower in the bot lane.
Yeah, and we also took the tower mid lane during that as well.
Yeah. And then support items, I think it's actually Redemption. Or not.
Yeah, there's Redemption, and then
Rocket.
I don't think Nick actually winds up building an item that gets upgraded.
Probably doesn't. And that's one thing is you have to play to your team comp. Making sure that you actually have an item to build or can build, and eventually, as a plan to use the passive from Ornn is important. Some teams you have Ornn, the only one that has the upgraded items. Probably have another dragon fight coming up here as we are
this one
30 minutes, and Elise gets stunned up by the baby cage and explodes because Beager ultimate does exactly just that. Zach's going to steal the dragon because there's no dragon, and double bombs is going to stun the Syndra and the Alistar. Plants is not going to be enough in the time for Zach to jump over the wall and take down another one. Shen ulti comes out. It's not going to happen, but has to taunt his way through so he doesn't get caught by yet another stun. As Shen is going to try and run his way out, but Ornn teleported in onto a minion, whiffs his ult, so Joe Killer is going to walk himself out of lane there. Back towards his blue buff. Shen finally got caught up at a long range engage coming out from your side. And I think this is going to be the inhibitor, and Zach's going to push in bot lane. Don't know if you guys have enough time to win, but you're probably pretty close here, because this may be the final push in, and if Jin gets caught out here and explodes, yep, that's the extra Vigor damage, and real quick, right before we close, 280 stacks on that Vigor, so in 30 minutes, pretty good job for getting 10 stacks.
Pretty good job for absolutely getting destroyed early the game, but, you know.
The comeback skills were definitely strong, and like you said, this while making a whole lot of missteps in your attempt to scale, stumbled upon the correctly getting there.
Wow, okay, I'm getting called out by my team in the chat. Is this commentating or talking during a game? What's the difference?
It's all pretty much the same. So, yeah. So I mean, as we kind of broke down that there are pros and cons to your guys' style and the way that you guys play that allowed for that match to go the way that it did here. And I should probably get game 2 set up here because we got a lot more coming out. I know this VOD style is not the most preferred for some people, but we're trying to give a little bit of different flavor to all of the castings this evening because most people don't want to listen to my voice for 8 hours today.
Oh, why not?
Because I don't like listening to my voice for 8 hours. I mean, that's not true. I love listening to my voice, but...
Okay. I mean, I was gonna give you some credit, and then you went and said that, so, I don't know. Maybe not anymore.
Okay, so we are going to pick bands, game number 2. Break it down.
All right. Well, first thing you'll notice, they definitely switched up their bans. Banned Ornn and Veigar first rotation this time instead of the Rise and the Senna, which were both kind of troll because I don't think anyone on our team really plays either of those. Um, I mean, going into draft for this one, uh, it was a bit odd. We kind of just trolled it and picked as we went and didn't really think about it. We wound up with like a decent composition, I guess, but we kind of just banned the same stuff that we did last time and wound up with like this Urgot split pushy type of thing with a decent team fight, I guess, with like Zillion, Amumu, Azir.
Now, you guys run the Urgot a bunch of times, though, right? Like, this is something that you guys are very comfortable picking into, and the style feels natural, I guess I should say.
Yeah, no, we're very used to completely losing early game, and then somehow Urgot gets a quadra kill and we win. We're very used to that.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I don't know how it happens either. Somehow Cheeseblaze just manages to like go 0-6 in lane and then kill 4 people at Baron. It's happened like 4 times on stream. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, if you keep spoiling the game, people are going to stop watching, dude.
I mean, I'm not saying it happens this game. I'm just saying that that's usually what happens. Like, it's just weird. Like, I think Urgot has like a secret passive where he can automatically get a quad at Baron if you're exactly 0-6.
So, the difference is, once again, you're going with the Zillion support. This time your team is the one that takes the Jhin, and they yet again chose not to have any tanks in the top lane. They went with the Set into the Urgot and the Malzahar into the Azir. Like, once again, they're kind of going for an early to mid-game team comp, right? Kai'Sa on, like, 1-2 items, Set on 1-2 items, Malzahar on that 1-2 items.
Yeah, they definitely
Jhin
have,
and
like,
Azir super scale again.
I mean, not really. Like, part of the problem for mid lane and why we kept picking these super scaly picks is they just kept banning all of my champions. So I was like,
you mean you're telling me the Victor, Viger, Orianna, Vladimir is not enough bans thrown at you?
Well, I mean, we also banned my Yasuo, so I mean, couldn't pop off this game.
Okay.
Unlucky.
Yeah, well, sometimes you got to keep it away from your own teammates, right? That's what solo queue is all about.
Yeah, it's pretty much no, but effectively, like the reason we picked Jhin early was we kind of assumed their ADC could only play 2 champions. From what we've seen, they're definitely best on Jinx Jhin, and then anything after that is like a significant drop. Like, they can play it, but not nearly to the level that they can play those. So since we took both those away, they wound up with actually a pretty strong bot lane anyway. Kai'Sa Leona has pretty good all-in. But we were pretty confident that, once again, come late game, that the Kai'Sa just wouldn't be as confident on that.
Yeah, and then it's kind of an interesting comp because Kai'Sa usually wants like a dive buddy or a pair of dive like protectors as she dives into the background, while Set can be that, and I guess technically Leona and Set are the dive buddies. It's just very weird to have that like mid-range then of the Malzahar and Elise, because you don't want to dive too far. And once again, they're looking at a pick comp, right? Because you have Elise pick, you have Set kind of a pick, Leona is definitely pick, and Malzahar is pick, right? Versus your team comp is a mash of things. I guess it's a team fighting
like I said, we
comp
kind of
again,
trolled draft.
because I mean, you have the Amumu, you have the curse of the Saiyan soldiers that could, eviscerate the enemy team if you set it up properly. So
yeah, I mean, in hindsight, like, we literally said 3 minutes into this game I should have just picked Syndra instead of Azir, but didn't really think about it. So wound up with this scaly pick that we didn't want.
Well,
it's okay.
Everyone can learn from their mistakes as well as learn from other people's mistakes. But let's kind of jump right into this game here, and we'll see how it goes.
I mean, this is not really spoiling, but I will say it's definitely slower. That I can confirm. You're not gonna see as much ridiculousness super fast. It gets ridiculous, just not as fast.
Okay, so
Where are we starting at?
I'm at 1 second, and I'm gonna count down and then up. So like 5,
Okay.
4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4,
We
5.
good.
Okay, so after the shenanigans of game 1, usually teams that are on the losing end of an invade or those type of prospects play more defensive and have a fanning out period. So that's what I expect coming out of Team Billy. Fiesta Fathers, your level 1 is trash.
Yeah.
So I don't expect you guys to do anything.
I mean, okay, so I touched on this earlier when you asked about prep. We noticed their top lane never wards their top like buff ever. Usually they don't 5-stack or 5-point either, which they did do this series, which is a little bit surprising, but we literally just walked into their red buff because we knew that there wouldn't be anyone there.
So that's once again good prep. Sometimes it just takes the earliest little bit to gain the advantage. We are going to watch the Illuminati walk by his red buff. Let's see how he wards this area. If he chooses to. He's waiting for it, and he walks right into 2 people. And that's a machine gun right to the face and Conqueror proc at level 1.
I mean, trading red buffs, Set loses half his health. It's, I mean, fine, I guess, because Set has 500 regen or whatever.
Yeah,
so
his regen.
really...
We watched a Set versus Garen in an earlier matchup today, and that was... I thought, some people hate watching wet noodle fights. How would you like to watch 2 people just take each other from full down to like a quarter of their health, and then the next time you look back at them, they're both at full health again?
Oof.
I was like, oh, this is boring. But the traits. Now, seeing I am Strode, the aggressive jungler, particularly into the Amumu, who's weaker on the early game, do you think that was a real advantage for your guys to do the vertical jungle then?
It was kind of nice because we know Stro likes to gank top a lot, and top lane right now is a kind of volatile matchup, like set into Urgot. If the Urgot doesn't get ahead on the side lane, then he doesn't become very useful, or at least that's how it should work, but apparently that's never how it works for Alex. But, yeah, no, Urgot likes to get ahead or go even so that he can split push and just be a monster, so vertical jungling like this and keeping the Elise towards the bot side is really nice for us.
Now, knowing that there is the vertical jungling, how does the fact that you have a zillion support affect how well you can control the lane, right? Because zillion, I mean, I'm not a zillion player, but there's like 3 of them in the whole league. And they could probably explain it better, but the bomb's like you're gonna try and push, right?
I mean, I don't know exactly how Zillion support goes, and I don't think Nick does either because he plays mid lane almost exclusively. But, I imagine that since you have Jhin, you're not really pushing, right? Because Jhin has to reload, and I mean, I guess you can grenade the wave, but I'm not entirely sure.
Strom, perfect flash right before Stro could, spider repel onto him over the wall after he had ganked through mid lane. Interesting that, is there, what is Strom, why was he going to, I mean, gank the Malzahar is fine, level, getting that off early, but why didn't he just take the top scuttle?
I am not entirely sure.
No, that's fine.
That'd be a question for him.
His path,
his
pathing directed him that direction. I mean, I understand how he got to the gank mid lane. He burned the Malzahar flash, and instead of doing a U-turn to go back up top to continue.
I guess maybe he was expecting Elise to have been pathing up there after the vertical jungle, so he thought that maybe she didn't take bot scuttle. I'm not entirely sure.
Okay. I'm just trying to get in the heads of all the players here, as Cheeseblaze is gonna have to flash out of that. Awesome damage that Set can deal. The true damage, rectangle of death, plus the giant shield that he gets.
Is it a rectangle? It's more of a triangle, right?
Yes, but only the center rectangle does the true damage.
I thought it all did true damage. It was just like half damage on the side.
Well, more true damage than less true damage. Elise is just gonna flash in and kill. Ooh, he's gonna escape. No.
Set blows top, flash top, trying to kill Urgot during all that, and is unsuccessful. So now neither top lane has flash.
Yeah, Set has the power though, the push in, and Urgot going for the scaling. Your team, for some team that loves the fight, we're just going to pick scaling stuff
and fight anyway.
And
yes.
buys a cull. So,
I mean, to be fair, he's never actually gonna kill Set. Like, I don't think anyone really kills Set in lane, so playing for cull isn't the worst idea.
No, it's not. It's not the worst. I just found it very funny.
Yeah, no, our team is the team that will pick scaling champions and then fight early game regardless. So, you know, if you want to beat us, that's how you beat us. Just bait us into a Fiesta, and we will always take that fight.
After getting first blood, the enemy team bot lane backed off. Your bot lane stayed, or at least Frostbite and then Strum wrapped around. It was able to pick up the dragon, seeing as that they backed off, but you didn't have teleport support, but that's fine because you saw that the Leona, Kaisa, and Elise all had left the area.
Yeah, Elise was like taking Gromp in vision on that blue buff ward, and she was at like 200 health, so it's like, yeah, she can't even contest if she wants to because she'll just get one shot by Gianata. No,
yeah, so I mean, it was a very excellent job, definitely taking the opportunity for both teams here. The mid games, do you guys have a main point person calling the like mid game objectives? Rotations?
Usually rotating to objectives is our jungle's whole thing. He likes to try and sneak objectives and just like take them from under the nose of the other jungler, but a lot of times that doesn't go too well. It went well this game because we actually had vision, but a lot of times he does it without vision and it doesn't go too well.
And dunked and true damage. Oh, oh. I guess he's just gonna hang out under tower.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he couldn't really chase anyway because Urgot's ult is like a 70% slow or something.
Yeah.
So, just waiting for it to wear off.
The slow part of it.
Yeah, it's not usually what people use it for, but in a pinch.
The aggressive style keeping and eyes, as you said, did you stress the importance of keeping vision on Stro in game 2 after his pretty good performance in game 1?
Yeah, I mean, we tried our best to like keep him from getting super fed again, because like while it wasn't the end of the world, like we definitely would prefer the kills on him over like on the Syndra or something. That would be harder to deal with. But at the same time, it's like, if you can keep someone from getting fed, then, you know, keep them from getting fed. That was the goal. And we did a much better job this game of not letting them snowball the game away by 10 minutes. It wasn't until like 20 minutes that started.
Well, I mean, their team comp is a lot less, like, super early, right? While Malzahar can control the lane fairly well, he's not pushing, he does have to get a couple of levels on his Voidlings or his space coronavirus before he can actually go in. As Kaisa's going to go in here and actually going to take out the Zillion. Pretty easy 1-2 punch there.
Yeah.
Finish off. We'll see if they take out
have a good time.
Frostbite. No, fell out. And ooh, 1-shot, 2-shot, 3-shot floor? No! Frost, my man.
That was really unlucky.
You missed.
Right through the uprights, got the field goal. That counts for 3 kills, right? 3
yeah,
points?
3 kills. Just you get the 3 kills in spirit, none on your scoreboard. As the gank happened, that means Strom, obviously, he's like, oh, the jungler's bot lane. It's a free Rift Herald. I'm a moo-moo. I'm going to take 10 minutes to do this. Don't worry, guys.
I mean, you got it, though.
You did get it.
Yeah, he's only down 11 CS. He's not actually down as much as you would think.
He's down a level at the moment, which I think the jungle experience is more important than the goal. But
yeah,
we will see how the rest of this kind of turns out. Mid lane is boring.
Yeah, it
Azir
was
versus
in fact
Malzahar.
boring. Can confirm.
I summon soldiers that you can't kill, and then he summons
You summon
voidlings that you...
voidlings, and I take 2 gold from them.
Yeah. And top lane, Conquer versus Conquer, Shield versus Shield. And
Yeah, the Urgot hasn't hit level 9 yet, so he doesn't have the infinite machine gun.
no, he doesn't.
Kind of just trolled by flashing away there.
I think he was trying to preemptively flash the Urgot ult.
Well, yeah, he should just flash forward though. Like the Urgot was at 10 HP, just flash auto.
Yeah, well, maybe he was trying to get around. If you're not, if you're not comfortable playing into an Urgot, and you don't know, the timings. If you don't know the timings.
Yeah, maybe you think he has like E back up, and then he can all in with the shield to get the all proc down.
As we see, there's a pretty easy 1-2 point click, and nice escape here. As Amumu is going to go into the bot lane here, get off the ultimate, and the bombs are going to help with 1 proc, and there's a crit. That's going to be dead, and second crit goes down, and 1 bomb. Can Nick get the second one? Not going to happen, as Leona's going to walk her way out, only to get the final curtain shots put down on her, as Malzahar and Elise are going to actually roam down here. They're going to walk right past the Zillions, fire him right in the face, and he had vision. Someone dropped the Rift Herald. Now Azir has teleported in and is now trying to sand shoulder his way onto the Malzahar. There's, Cocoon lands, but it's not going to matter because Amumu's Banish Toss lands and is going to go over to the ward. Now we have a teleport in by Set, and this is the chaos that is the Fiesta Fathers and Team Billy going at it constantly here at the 10-minute mark that we were told about. Flash Cocoon coming out from Elise, jumping in, and there's the pull back in. I am the Stro on a killing spree as...
and just like that, Elise is fed again.
Yep. Pretty
3 kills from bot lane.
quickly. And now it's the Dragon going to go over in favor to the red team. Team Billy picking up the Ocean Drake. We have Mountains coming up afterwards. And this aspect, I actually think Mountain is... Everyone likes Mountain, right? Nope.
Yeah, I mean,
Tanks.
that's what we need. More tank stats on the set.
Yeah, right. But you could get more tank stats onto the Urgot and your.
Well, the thing is, they're like they're percent of your built tank stats, right? Urgot doesn't really build tank stats; he just builds health.
Set just kind of builds health too. As Mumu is going to go straight in here on the Kaisa and crit. We'll see if we get a second crit here onto the Leona, who's going to try and shield away. There's the Amumu ult. There's the last one, and nice stun, and I think it's going to be able to walk away, dodge one. Stroke doing an excellent job at, passing that kill over to the Jhin.
Yep. See, he only gives kills over to the ADC. He'll never give them over to mid lane, is something I found out.
As there's the machine gun Urgot versus the punching power. Come on, Urgot. Oh, no ult. Never mind.
Yeah, he burned that a little bit earlier mid lane, trying to snipe the Malzahar unsuccessfully. Doesn't look like he really needed it though.
No, not particularly here. And this is the problem with the Conqueror on the machine gun. Eventually gets to the point where you get the healing up, and that at least is pretty quick.
Yes, walk away.
Everyone roams their way out. So
you think something's happening with the Azir this game? And no, listen here, bud.
Yeah.
It's
pretty good.
Never put the camera on me ever.
And Cheese Blades is actually going to get the first tower, all 5 tower plates. So tower plates are going pretty much in favor of your team.
Yeah, we got 11 plates this game. Yeah. Got 4 bot, 2 mid, and all 5 on top lane.
And that is what I think is accelerating the fact that you're 2K gold up, right? The 1-to-1 dragons, the 1-to-1, or 5-to-5 in kills, but it's the 11 to like, what, 4 or 5 plates?
Yep.
I
think they got 1 bot lane, didn't get any mid. They got like 2 or 3 top lanes. Yeah, it's like 3 or 4 on their team.
Now, the gold is once again, it's on the Jin and the Elise. Those are the two people with the bounties. I just kind of leave the gold tallies up for people to read at their leisure a little bit every once in a while. And how distributed? You guys ever talk about? We kind of talked about last game how well Kaisa's just gonna all in the Jin here, but you have the Zillion ult, I guess. Okay, Zillion didn't even drop. Need the ult and just returns the favor.
Yeah, Frost just misplayed there because he pops heal while he had Zillion ult on, so she didn't actually go down.
Oh, well, while we were watching the Jin ult, you're getting dunked here, but you nice sand shoulder away as Elise just walks in and autos the Amumu to die. And we're going to see the bird drop here to the Featherman, I guess. What are they called? The Vestiri? Vestiri?
The Vestaya?
Vestaya.
I think that's only half Vestaya, though.
Yeah, but he's like a badger, right? Like badger and something? He's not like the birds that like Zyrakana?
I have no idea. I know the feathers that he has are like just like a cloak.
Gotcha.
Not actually his.
Well, you know, Jin has a long-range W, but so does Kaisa.
Yup. Bit of an overstay.
Yep. It can happen as the communication part. Do you guys discuss in-game where you want to, extra speed up by the Zillion escapes there? How you guys want to separate your team comp and split up gold? You should like dictate who goes to what side lane or anything like that.
I mean, not really. We didn't really talk about that at all. Like, the general consensus whenever we have Urgot is Urgot's going to be sitting in a side lane, and everyone else is just going to be there. Like, the Urgot will probably either die in the side lane, getting a tower, or kill someone in the side lane, getting a tower, and there's not much in between.
Do you guys ever, I mean, I'm more talking about, think about like the Azir and Jin, right? Both of them need as much gold as possible and experience as possible.
Oh, so like,
so you're going to do
like
1-3-1
resources?
Yeah, like how you,
I mean,
how you choose to divvy up those resources.
No, we didn't really talk about it. It's just like whoever conveniently can get the wave at a convenient time is who's going to get the wave. Like, well, it's more about rotating and having pressure where we need it than it's about people getting as much gold as possible. Like, we're not really worried about funneling all the resources onto Jin or whatever.
And Leona goes through the meat grinder there. And the second charge from the Rift Herald means another tower is going to drop. But Urgot's probably going to give life up for it. We will see how well the set can chase with the Kaisa. The help of Jin ulti is going to prevent that from going any further. And then Cocoon into, ooh, nice slip around. Kaisa ult comes out, pushing them away, but jumps over the, are those the Riot, is that the Riot skin?
The Zir skin? Yeah. That's SKT.
Okay, so those are the police.
Yeah, so they're like workers at the venue or whatever. They're like the security personnel.
Gotcha. I was about to call them sand soldiers, and I was like, that's not at all what they look like.
Nope. How many Dark Harvest stacks does Frost have? 7? Yeah, it's okay. How many does Nick have? Nick has 3.
Yeah, well,
so that's a bit of a yikes.
That's a Zillion.
Yeah.
Who was pushing bot lane that entire time, by the way, after the dragon. Felt he needed some gold.
I mean, he's almost got his Ludens, I think. So, gotta get the gold for that.
We are at, so the first item on his first back, Cheeseblaze picked up the call, and he still has 5 stacks still left on it, so he's about ready to
But he has a wave coming.
Yeah, no.
You don't understand. He's almost done. There's 6 whole minions in it.
He's gonna cash in big time. When he gets that, he's gonna turn that Phage.
He got a bounty off it.
Yeah, Phage and Jarm's Fist into Frozen Mallet, and then, oh, actually, no one will be
I don't think that's how that recipe works, but...
Is it?
No, Frozen Mallet is Jarm's Fist and a Giant's Belt.
Oh, right, they changed it. It used to be the Phage.
Yeah.
As we see people going for picks in the enemy team, able to get a pick, but you're able to poke over the wall to take down Malzahar, but you put yourself next to your own tower, which is very nice, because Azir can raise those. And now Jin's going to lay down one. See if they go any further, as we now have a 4v3. It's a 4v3, and your team is being the aggressive, knowing that they have to use the ult, and Set's going to get off a nice shield, but a Mumu ult counters engage, as I Am Strong is going to get onto Zillion, that's going to finish that one up, as jumps over to the Amumu, trying to finish that one off, and no one is focused Frostbite at all in this team fight here. To be able to get one out crit, Joe Killer is actually going to drop down, and here comes the Jin ult. He's got 2, he's got 3, 4 is not going to happen. It's flash out on the side of I Am Stro. And that's going to be more crits coming out, and down goes the tower. You're right, your team does play really aggressive. I mean, your guys were in a 3v4, and I know they had used a lot of their abilities, but you kept pushing forwards.
No, we will always keep pushing. I can confirm. That's the motto. Yeah, last game it was we're scaling. Now it's always keep pushing. Trademark. Don't steal, please.
Is Frost getting kind of greedy here? I mean, I know he's got Zillion right on his side. He wants the crit shot someone.
Yeah, Frost has a thing for move speed supports, I think. He likes Lulu, and he likes Zillion as far as I can tell. He just likes to move really fast.
Well, anything that can help the AD carry get around, and then he relies on his own mechanical skill, then relying on the support's ability to heal or shield him is good. As they go for another pick on the Urgot, and he dead.
Yep. Like I said, Alex will either get a kill on the side lane to get a tower or die, and that is his modus operandi.
Now this is what Team Billy needs to do, though, right? Like, they need to use their pick potential. They have Malzahar, they have Elise, they have Leona. Getting the picks on the individual and then setting up for objectives with the numbers advantage is what they should be doing.
So 100%. Like, they definitely have the better pick potential, especially when Urgot's in a side lane and we had just reset. Like, he was definitely overextended there, so it was a good catch. Like, because we couldn't even get Baron or anything while they sent 2 men for spot set.
And it's also sadly kind of rough because now you have to, how is everyone going to set up? How are you going to set up these future endeavors and fights, and how you're going to want to set them up? They need to get more picks, and they need to do that by establishing vision, and they're doing that as a group at the moment, trying to get that straightened out, but they just don't have the tier 2 towers to have that baseline, right? That baseline between the towers to easier establish your own vision without having to send multiple resources that direction. And I think I think in this case the extra mountain dragon allowing the extra terrain is actually helping your team more than them, because they have to go around all these curves, extra curves and corners to get picks. As Jin's going to open up the curtain call here, Mumu's going to get in. It looks like we're just going to dump everything in onto Leona, try and get as much damage to the power. As the Malzahar comes onto Mumu, not going to happen as Jin's got targeted off on the sideline by a set. He's going to go over and take onto the Zillion and pop that into the ultimate shit. He's going to suck right there as Easy Dog's taken down to Leona's dunk, comes on the side of set. See if he gets the shield coming out. He's not. As Joe Killer is walking in the back line trying to chase down onto Frostbite, not going to happen. As down goes, and that is a triple kill. And that's where the extra terrain was not in your team's favor.
Yeah,
they were able to separate and get the picks.
Yeah, we were really split there. Frost ulted to start it, so he was too far to follow the Amumu engage. A lot of us were getting zoned off by Set on the back line while others were going forward, so it was really disjointed fight by us, and we played it really poorly.
So once again, even though that was a 5-on-5 team fight, it was 2 3v3s or 2v2s.
Yeah.
And so the picks in the team fight were set up for their advantage, and they played that very well. I think they only lost the Leona in that whole thing. Maybe the Malzahar?
I got the Leona, and I think Mal's maybe went down.
I think Mal's kind of went down to kind of AoE at the towards the very end, but they were able to pick up another dragon for themselves. And I mean, Stro yet again looking really strong in the Elite 6-0-9, 600 gold bounty. Joe Killer are doing a good job as Nick Might. It's like the 3rd time he's been caught, but he's really quick. You can never tell he's a Zillion made. as Storm's going to go in here once again onto the support. They're re-engaged a lot stronger onto their engage. Boomer's going to take down Leona, but it's going to die in the process. Set dunks on Frost in here in the backline. What does happen is Malzahr's going to go in and try and get some CCF coming and slide your way on out. This is all delaying while Urgot is in the bot lane, continuously pushing, taking yet another tower. We'll see the extra movement speed. One bomb, two's not going to be enough. Jumps over onto Azir, pushes back away from the team into the Jhin, who gets the shuffle. And in comes Joe Killer, unstoppable, takes out the final. And it looks like Urgot's going to miss the ultimate there. It's going to try and fire off, try and focus on one champion or another. He's trying to pick and pop, the dance back and forth between champions. Absolutely beautiful in that. It was like a tower, like, juggling the aggro, but it was Urgot in the middle. Great. Excellent, really bad. Excellent job by Team Billy.
Yeah. That was, once again, a fight where Set did a good job of walking into the back line as Amumu went in, so we couldn't follow up the really good Amumu ultimate there because Set was just ulting the Jhin on the back line, and I had to peel him off for it. Yeah, so during this mid game, they definitely did a much better job of playing to their more picked sort of composition and making the fight more disjointed, which favored them.
So, we got pieces of item. Everyone's kind of hit a nice break point where they've completed one full item for sure, almost 2 items, depending on how they've pieced together their things on their gold backs. Enemy team with the mid-game team comp, which is what they're definitely looking for. This is like their strongest point, I would say right now, is when everyone's at like 1 to 2 items. They're only up 2.5K, right? So they're not up as much as they want to be, but they're definitely in a decent position here. As they're just going to catch a Mumu in the Baron pit.
Have they caught a Mumu? Has a Mumu caught them? They've caught him.
Pretty sure we can all agree that they caught a Mumu. Now the counter engage with the Jhin ult. It's a lot of damage. Now, it took them so long because the Zillion ultimate that Urgot was able to get another tower. So getting the pick in this instance doesn't lead to any objectives.
Yeah, and then we just start stopping backs because we realized that they went for greedy backs, which leads Urgot to actually wind up getting the in-hip tower too.
Yeah. And then they're going to jump in onto Urgot. We're going to see if this is fight on 2 different sides. As Zero's going to go into tower and absolutely get die. Set took Urgot back to his own base and said, I'm going to dunk you.
I pressed the E button instead of the R button there, so it just instantly flashed out after I shuffled into their base. So.
Yeah, we caught a little bit of that on stream. It's the camera
not
was
my brightest.
The camera was way more in favor of watching Set pick and dunk up the crab man.
Yeah. It does that a lot.
Yeah. And see, he didn't finish Black Cleaver first. He still went Frozen Mallet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true. That is what
he just didn't use the phase the building.
Yeah.
It's at this point, Frost has got the QSS. It's a nice defensive item, particularly against this pick comp. Setting all up as Stroh's going to go golden here. Get away.
Yeah, he had the Banshees and the Zonias completed there, so as much as we wanted that pick, it's a bit hard to pick somebody through like double defensive items like that. Especially when you don't have vision of where the rest of the team is.
Now, how much priority are you guys putting on this dragon, considering the other team only has 2?
You should know the answer to that already. If it's a fight, we fight it.
Okay, we're going to open this up then. Jin's going to go off, and it looks like Zillion's going to steal the dragon with a bomb, and Set's going to dunk into the backline, get absolutely pulled in by the Urgot, and that's going to send everyone into the fear. Joe Killer is able to pick the number 1 kill and finish that one off, and then Zero's going to pull on through. Astro's going to now get the Zillion ulti, but it's not going to matter because they finished one ever off, and that is a shutdown.
Yeah, see, that fight went really bad for us because the Azir picked up 2,000 golden shutdowns that should have been on anyone else.
Okay. Well, your Sand Shoulders did all your work for you, if it makes you feel any better.
Yeah, I don't know. That was Oh God, no, not this.
Oh, why are you guys trying to do Baron with no tank?
Okay, so the call was that I called that we could do Baron because they were all down.
And that was a terrible
but I didn't realize that Amumu had 200 health when he walked over. So I'm like, oh, never mind, we can't really do Baron here.
And we got teleports from everyone here. Is flashing in is the set. Urgot's going to finish that one off, but Malzahar's going to finish him while he's getting absolutely slapped around by the Baron, who's going to throw another one around. And Leona's just going to tank it now. Urgot puts himself between Leona and the Baron, so he's taking damage. There's the Urgot ult to come out, and double triple kill actually from Urgot. There's what is going on. But now it's you know, Billy's turn to play with the Baron, who has not yet dropped down. Finally gets taken off as Amumu's going to go over the wall, and a double kill or quadra kill. Oh, bomb, not going to matter, but there's another bomb. Double kill. Is that a unofficial penta?
Yeah, see, I told you, Urgot has this secret buff where if he has exactly 6 deaths, he can just make something weird happen at Baron. Like, that's his secret passive, because it happens all the time, and it makes no sense. It's like how old Aatrox had the secret passive of no one knew what you did, so you instantly did more.
Yeah, well, I mean, they got the Baron, but everyone died. Is now a pick swing off in the top lane, and Set's gonna dunk Urgot, but that's not gonna matter because he's just gonna get pulled in. And our Frost is gonna steal it from a mile away.
Oop.
Okay, so after the chaos that was that fight, you guys are still down in kills, but you're up in gold. Because you're playing on their half of the map the entire time, right? You're the ones laying vision down on their map. They're playing defensive, running back and forth, and getting the picks that they needed, but their picks aren't leading to any objectives. It's reached the 30-minute mark here. I mean, at this point, their comp is starting to stall out, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would say so. Like, because at this point, you're really reliant on, like, Malzahar ulting Jhin and, like, just absolutely blowing him up, but then you have Zillion ult to stop that from even, like, working, so it's really hard for them to really do much of anything.
And sometimes this is a stylistic thing, where, like, your team's style just happens to match with the champions that, you know, are good against this team's style, the way they play, right? Like, just the way that they set up everything seems to be, at the moment, in favor of your guys' team and your chaos theory.
I would say chaos theory is probably the best way to describe how we play League of Legends. Let's see, now we just need to start putting it on lunch boxes and selling it, and it will be perfect.
I don't know if that quite's gonna happen. As the dunk, and then the consume, Riptide, Ripperoonies, as you know.
Yeah, so just to give you an idea of what comms were like while all this nonsense was happening, it was basically me saying, we should get out and reset for about a solid 30 seconds straight, until eventually enough people died that people got out and reset.
That's,
and, you know,
whoa, your team wanted the reset?
I know, right? See, that's why no one listens to me, because I tried to get us to reset, and that instantly made me lose all credibility.
Yeah, because I was expecting your teams to be like, oh, we just funnel in here and we win the game.
Yeah, no. It was basically no one saying anything but me trying to get people to do something at all reasonable, which, to be honest, was the most unreasonable thing being said.
Well, Stro is still level 17, Cheeseblaze is 17, that's tied. So while you guys have been on their side of the map for long periods of time, that also means that you've been, like, not sharing the experience, or at least the experience has been shared drastically different than the opposing team, where their solo laners are really high, but their bot lane's lower than your bot lane, right? But your guys' jungler and solo lanes are not as obviously high because your bot lane, because you've been grouped, has been participating in the shenanigans, and as a result, Elise is out by herself trying to sneak a steel dragon while the rest of her team is busy killing super minions in the base. And there's the Mountain Soul, the empowered one. So you guys got those little buff shields. For the pick comp, that's absolutely devastating because it's just another thing they have to pick through. As that's a beautiful bandage toss into a Voidling here, as we're going to probably have the final team fight.
Yes,
as
beautiful.
Goes through and just explosions everywhere. And Jumbo trying to do his best, not going to happen. Too much area effect, AP damage coming out from the and that is the game number 2. So in favor of your team.
Yeah.
Fiesta Fathers 2-0. What do you want to like? I know this is a very different kind of cast for this particular.
Yeah, it was very kind of VOD reviewy.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we're trying to give a different insights to all type of play instead of the straight up hypeness. Hopefully, you don't mind me being overly critical of a lot of things your team does.
Oh no, like I think I was flaming my team more than anyone. Like this was we did a lot of stupid stuff. I will fully admit.
No, yeah, I mean that can happen, but I think that it's a good learning experience, and I didn't change the overlay for the end one, so I'll flip back up to this one, the team ability for Fiesta Father. So, what like if you guys had to take like 2 like main, we'll go 1 major point and 1 minor point from this match going into the finals, and some self-reflection. What are you taking?
Okay, so major takeaway, don't pick scaling. Like I'm gonna say that, and we're gonna pick it like the first game of finals. We're gonna pick a scaling comp or something. But like we really are bad at playing a scaling composition. We play every composition like it spikes at 2 minutes into the game. So maybe pick for that might be a better idea. And then small takeaways. I think that we need better vision control in certain areas of the map. We get caught out a lot. I don't know if it's like really the vision or if it's the comms, but we get caught out on side lanes way more often than we should, so that's something to work on.
Now that was a strength of the enemy teams, though, was the pick comp styles that they were running.
Well, yeah, but we should definitely be able to avoid getting caught out like every 2 minutes on the side lane. Like it's one thing that their comp is strong in terms of like being able to get picks on that side lane. It's another thing where we're literally just on the side lane dying because we aren't paying attention, or like we don't have vision, so they can just come down and we don't trade anything back. At the very least, we should be trading something every time we're getting picked on the side lane, which we weren't.
Very good points. I do want to shout out, I know this was a very Fiesta Fathers heavy cast here, but Team Billy did an excellent job through the season. They were the #1 seed, and they showed a lot of good key strength points in, trying to accelerate their team comps that they had in certain aspects, and just weren't able to, I guess, fell fodder to the constant shenanigans that your team just consistently runs all of the time.
Yeah, no.
And if
they definitely played well. Like, I will.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if they were just like maybe one step further ahead, I think that series would have gone very differently.
Yeah, I think that like their biggest problem was just not getting an even gold share. Like they very frequently had gold on like one member, and we had a tool or several that could just pick off that one member, and as soon as that happened, then their gold lead is just gone because it's all on that one person. Like if they had spread gold out a bit more, I think it would have been much harder to like pull back the games once we got behind, because they definitely played early game better than us in both games, I think.
So that is going to be it for this semifinals match. I'm going to take a little break and get set up for the next one. I got to see which is coming up, because I don't even know which match is coming up next after this. But we will be back with more Seal semifinal action coming up. See you in a little bit.